चलो भाई मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का वन लाइनर कंप्लीट करते हैं। जो मैंने अभी एशियंट मिडाइवल जो इस पीडीएफ में था वो मैंने करा दिया। भाई मैं पहले बोल रहा हूँ जो इस पीडीएफ में है बस मैं वही पढ़ के बता रहा हूँ। जो तुमने पहले पढ़ा हुआ है ना काम वही देगा, ये बस तुम्हें थोड़ा बहुत मेमोराइजेशन के लिए काम आएगा, ठीक है। तो द एडवेंट ऑफ द यूरोपियन कंपनीज, द फर्स्ट पोर्चुगीज वायसराय इन इंडिया वाज एल्मीडा. Hooghly as the base for piracy in the Bay of Bengal was used by the Portuguese, wherein India and Britishers set up their first factory in 1613, Surat, which British official defeated Portuguese at the Swale, Thomas Best. The Indian cause of the First Carnatic War was capture of French ship by the British. The immediate cause for the First Carnatic War was capture of French ship by the British. Dutch East India Company established its factory at the Patna in which year? 1632 AD. ये पटना वाले याद रखना, 1632 AD में डच ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ने अपनी फैक्ट्री खड़ी की थी। आइडेंटिफाई द रीजन फॉर वेयर द यूरोपियंस गॉट बेस्ट शोर, साल्टपीटर एंड द ओपियम, बिहार. During the British rule, this region of India was famous for the production of opium, Bihar. The first French factory was established in the Surat city of India, East India Company and Nawab of Bengal. Emperor Shah Alam II gave the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to East India Company on 12 August 1765, who was appointed Deputy Diwan of Murshidabad by Robert Clive after the Allahabad Treaty, Muhammad Raza Khan. The famous Battle of Vandiwash in 1760 AD was fought by the British against the French. The Ranjit Singh got the famous Kohinoor diamond from Shah Shuja. Tipu Sultan set up his capital in Sringapatnam. Englishmen made the Treaty of Sringapatnam with Tipu Sultan. Treaty that was signed after the Battle of Buxar was the Treaty of Allahabad, Governor Generals and the Viceroy. The first Governor General of India, Lord William Bentinck, who was the founder of British Empire in India, Lord Clive, who abolished dual government system in Bengal, Warren Hastings. The dual system of governance in Bengal was enforced by Robert Clive. Lord Lytton is not associated with the Ilbert Will. The Maratha Sardar to accept the subsidiary alliance of the Lord Wellesley was Peshwa Bajirao II. The first Maratha Sardar to accept the subsidiary alliance to Lord Wellesley was Peshwa Bajirao II, under whose leadership was the suppression of the thugs achieved. Captain Silliman. The following were the social reform introduced by William Bentinck: abolition of sati, abolition of slavery, suppression of organized bands of thugs. Who declared sati illegal? William Bentinck. Among Sindh, Gwalior, Awadh, Satara, the princely state which was not annexed by the British. Gwalior. Sindh was conquered or annexed by Charles Napier. The first railway in India was laid down during the period of Lord Dalhousie. Queen Victoria was appointed and the Empress of India in 1877. The Viceroy who followed aggressive policy towards the Afghan was Lord Lytton, who established Imperial Cadet Corps, Lord Curzon. In my belief, Congress is tottering to its fall, and one of my great ambitions while in India is to assist its peaceful demise. Who wrote this? Lord Curzon. Economic impact of British rule on India. The permanent settlement was made with Jamidars. Permanent settlement was implemented in 1793 AD. The following is the correct about the permanent settlement introduced in Bihar. Land revenue was constitutionalized. In fill in the blanks. In 1885, the rights of the tenants on land in Bengal and Bihar were given by the Bengal Tenancy Act. ठीक है. The Rayatwadi system was first implemented in Madras. The system under which the peasant himself owns the land and is responsible for the payment of land revenue to the government is known as Rayatwadi system. The Punjab Land Alienation Act was passed in 1900, and first Indian elected to the British House of Commons was Dadabhai Naroji, who contested on the ticket of the Liberal Party. He introduced the system Malavari settlement in Bengal. Holt Mackenzie, Indian nationalist leader, have characterized the nature of economic policies between 1880 and 1905 as the era of the economic nationalism in India. This was written by Dadabhai Naoroji. Railway was an actual boon for the period of Second World War. Poverty and British rule in India was written by Dadabhai Naoroji. Drain of wealth theory was promoted by Dadabhai Naoroji. The remarkable person who took the action for the calculating the national income of India before independence was Dadabhai Naoroji. Revolt of 1857. The reason for the failure of revolt of 1857 were the military superiority of the British. The rebels did not have a unified program and ideology. There was a lack of support from the all section of the society. When was the new Enfield rifle with the greased cartridges introduced in the British Indian Army in December 1856? The revolution of 1857 started first from Meerut. The following was not a reason for making the Sipahi of the East India Company revolution: the inefficiency of the officers. The following was not the reason for making the Sipahis of the East India Company revolution: inefficiency of the officer. ये नहीं था, ठीक है. झांसी की रानी लक्ष्मीबाई dead at Gwalior. The revolt of 1857 at Lucknow was led by Begum of Awadh. On the leaders of revolt of 1857 AD, Kuvar Singh was related to which place? Jagdishpur. Kuvar Singh joined the revolution of 1857 against the British in Ara. The leader of revolutionary in Bihar during the revolt of 1857 was Baba Kuvar Singh. Kuvar Singh led the revolt of 1857 in Bihar. The person of Jagdishpur took the lead of the revolutionary during the revolt of 1857 AD. Kuvar Singh. The king of Jagdishpur was Kuvar Singh. The mutiny of 1857 at Patna was led by a dynamic old person known as Rajput Kuvar Singh, who led "Where I am, there is a Jagdishpur." Kuvar Singh. The center of 1857 revolt in Bihar from the 15 July 1857 to 20 January 1858 was Jagdishpur. Among the Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah, Maulvi Imadullah, Maulvi Fazl Haq, Kirabdi, and Nawab Liaquat Ali. He was the bitterest enemy of the British during the revolt of 1857. Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah. The revolt of 1857 was witnessed by the poet Ghalib. The following group did not participate in the revolt of 1857: Shahukars and landlords. The following did not rebel against the British East India Company to control over them: Nizam of Hyderabad, Governor General of India during the revolt of 1857, revolt Lord Canning. Which part of the British was unaffected with the revolt of 1857? Munger. The first man after the revolt of 1857 who wanted to overthrow the British regime by means of armed revolution and establish self-government in India was Vasudev Balwant Phadke. Vasudev Balwant Phadke. The uprising of 1857 was described as the first war of independence by V.D. Savarkar. The following person had participated actively in the revolt of 1857: नाना साहेब कानपुर से, बेगम हजरत महल लखनऊ से, मौलवी अहमदुल्ला फैजाबाद से, बेगम जीनत महल दिल्ली से. Who was the Governor General of India in 1857? Canning. What was the main cause of the failure of revolt of 1857? Lack of common strategy and common organization. The first war of independence in 1857 failed due to the secure freedom from the British government, because the leadership of the Bahadur Shah Zafar did not have a popular support, and most of the Indian rulers of the important states shy away from the struggle. ठीक है. Who called the revolt of 1857 as a conspiracy? Dr. James Outram and W. Taylor. Dr. James Outram and W. Taylor. The uprising of 1857 was described as the first Indian War of Independence by V.D. Savarkar. When did Queen Victoria declare the taking over the Indian administration under the British rule? 1 November 1858. The following commission is associated with the army reorganization after the suppression of the revolt of 1857: Peel Commission. Army reorganization, Peel Commission. After the revolt of 1857, the British recruited the soldiers from the Gorkha Sikhs Punjab in the north. Other civil uprising. The Indigo Revolt was about the peasant not wanting to grow indigo but being forced to grow at a price that was unacceptable. Who is the author of the Neel Darpan, a book written by the miserable condition of indigo farmers? Deen Bandhu Mitra. Who wrote the famous play Neel Darpan, in which the oppression of indigo farmers were displayed? Deen Bandhu Mitra. In Anand Math, Bankim Chand Chatterjee. Which revolt is mentioned? Sannyasi. Who was the What was the purpose of Bariatal residence in Munger? Demand of Bakhast land restoration. What was the purpose of Bariatal residence in Munger? Demand for Bakhast land restoration. Kukka movement was organized by Guru Ram Singh. Kukka movement was organized by Guru Ram Singh. Who founded the Pagalpant Vidro? Karam Shah. Who were the Farazis? Followers of Haji Shrimtullah. Tayamini movement. Tayuni movement began in operation of the Faizi movement at the Dhaka in 1839 was started by Karamat Ali of Jaunpur, who founded Ramosi Krishak Jatha in Maharashtra. Who founded the Ramosi Krishak Jatha in Maharashtra? Vasudev Balwant Pakhade. Who founded the Ramosi Katha in Maharashtra? Vasudev Balwant Pakhade. The correct geographical location for the रामोशी अपराइजिंग was वेस्टर्न घाट और ये किसने किया था रामोशी सत्याग्रह? ये वासुदेव बलवंत फाकड़े. Trace the tribe that rebelled against the Britisher because human sacrifice system was banned. Coal mutiny of 1831 under the Buddha Bhagat took place in the region of Singhbhum. The Waghera uprising happened in Baroda. In which territory among Bihar, Punjab, Sindh and Katihar did tribals rebel against the British? Bihar. Who took the led to the Santhal revolution of 1855 AD? Sidho and Kanho. Santhal revolts occurred in 1855-56 AD. Who were the leader of Santhal revolt? Sidho and Kanho. Which British commander was defeated by the Santhal in 1855? Which British commander was defeated by the Santhal in 1857? Major Burruff. Ulugulan revolt was related to Birsa Munda. Who was the leader of Munda revolt? Birsa. Munda's revolt in 1899. Among the following Birsa was captured while asleep on. He captured on asleep on 3 February 1900. आंसर है 3 फरवरी 1900. ठीक है. Among given the below Birsa Munda was in the favor of Jharkhand, Uttaranchal and Chhattisgarh. इसकी भी फेवर में नहीं थे. ठीक है. He was in favor of Munda Raj, not of any state which. ठीक है. Which was the working area of Birsa Munda? Ranchi. Followers of the Birsa Munda considered him incarnation of Dharti Abba. The Hose revolt took place during the 1820 and 20. What the immediate cause of the Deccan riot of 1875 was the shadow of the famine, high interest rate charged by the Mahajans. Mopla revolt of 1921 took place in Kerala. The Tebega movement was started in 1946 from the Bengal under the leadership of Kisan Sabha. Development of education in modern India. He passed the Indian University Act in 1904, which put a strict restriction on university. Lord Curzon. When was the National Council of Education established? 15 August 1906. National Education Establishment 15 August 1906. Lord Curzon passed the Indian University Act in 1904. British government applied Shadler University Commission for the reforms in education in 1917. In 1902, Lord Curzon appointed the University Commission, including 2 Indian members who were they Syed Hussain Bilgarmi and Justice Gurudas Banerjee. The following statements are correct regarding the Wood's Dispatch of 1854. It recommended the English as the medium of the instruction of higher studies. It laid the stress on female education on vocational training. Development of press in modern India. The Vernacular Press Act of 1857 was repealed by Lord Ripon, who in America started to issue newspaper Free Hindustan. Tarak Nath Das, who founded the Amrit Bazar Patrika. Shishir Kumar Ghosh, which journal was not associated with the revolutionary activities. Young India. Among New India Leader, Young India, and the Free Press Journal. This paper was essentially the mouthpiece of the politics of liberal leader. Leader is answer. Among the Indian nations, Punjab Kesari, Prabhakar and धवन न्यूज़पेपर यूज टू पब्लिश फ्रॉम पटना. पटना से कौन सा पब्लिश होता था? तो आंसर है इंडियन नेशन. हु स्टार्टेड द जनरल बहिष्कृत भारत? बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर. फर्स्ट न्यूज़पेपर पब्लिश्ड आउट ऑफ पटना इन इंग्लिश वाज द बिहार हिलाड़. First newspaper published out of Patna in English was the Bihar Hilad. The correct match is newspaper एंड उसके एडिटर. द हिंदू का जी सुब्रमण्यम अय्यर. केसरी के तिलक. द बंगाली के सुरेंद्रनाथ बनर्जी. हिंदुस्तानी का गंगा प्रसाद वर्मा. तो देखो हिंदुस्तानी का याद रखना गंगा प्रसाद वर्मा. हिंदुस्तानी गंगा में होता है, मतलब हिंदुस्तान में ही गंगा है, तो गंगा हिंदुस्तानी प्रसाद याद रखना. द बंगाली सुरेंद्रनाथ बनर्जी. देखो जो बनर्जी होते हैं वो ज़्यादातर बंगाल में होते, तो बंगाली है सुरेंद्रनाथ बनर्जी याद रखना. केसरी का तिलक ये यादें है. द हिंदू का जी सुब्रमण्यम यादें है. इट वॉज नॉट अ नेशनलिस्ट न्यूज़ पेपर. द टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया. सोशल रिलीजियस मूवमेंट. द category of population who was primarily attached to the religious reform movement of the 19th century was intellectual, urban upper caste and liberal princes. The father of the Indian Renaissance movement was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. The founder of the Atmiya Samaj was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Brahmo Samaj was founded in the year 1828 AD. Raja Ram Mohan Roy established Brahmo Samaj in 1828 AD. The best representative of Neo-Hinduism in the second half of the 19th century was Neo-Hinduism. Swami Vivekananda, he participated in the parliament elections held in the Chicago in 1893. Swami Vivekananda established the Ramakrishna Mission in the year 1897 AD, who was Sardhamani, wife of the Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Ika movement occurred in the rural area of this state, Awadh. Dayanand Saraswati founded Arya Samaj. Go back to Veda slogan by Dayanand Saraswati. This organization was called Conspirational Organization Arya Samaj. This organization was called Conspiratorial Organization Arya Samaj. Satyarth Prakash was written by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, who was the founder of Pratna Samaj. Atmarang Panduram. Among Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj, Satyasodhak Samaj and Pratna Samaj, the first one chronologically is Brahmo Samaj. In 1873, the founded Satyasodhak Samaj by Jyotiba Bai Phule, who founded a Thirstwagel Society. Madam H.B. Blavatsky. Madam H.B. Blavatsky. Poon Sarvajanik Sabha was founded in 1875. Mahadev Govind Ranade, who established the Servants of India Society in 1905. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Correct match is Servants of Indian Society, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Tatvodhini Sabha, Devendra Tagore. Atmiya Sabha, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who demanded the rights to enter the temple that caused a terrible riot in Trivali in 1899. Nadars. The correct combination from the options given below: Pratna Samaj, Young's India, Lokhitwadi, Satyodhak Samaj, Rahmuni Majamdian Sabha is Atmarang Panduram Mohandas Karamchacham. ये सब जो क्या बोलते हैं मैगजीन्स है या आर्टिकल है जो भी है या कुछ भी है या सभा है, इससे कौन एसोसिएटेड है? ये तो प्रार्थना सभा से एसोसिएटेड है आत्माराम पांडुरंग, यंग इंडिया से मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी, एंड लोकहितवादी से गोपाल हरि देशमुख, सत्यशोधक समाज से ज्योतिबा बाई फूले, और रहनुमाई मजाद्यासन सभा से है नौरोजी फुरदोंजी। The women movement in India started largely under the inspiration of Jyotiba Bai Phule, who began the Farazi movement. Haji Sharatullah. Shivaji movement was started in 1895 by the Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Who was the founder of the Indian Association? Surendranath Banerjee. Who established Indian Association in 1876 AD? Surendranath Banerjee. The most important of the pre-Congress nationalist organization was Indian Association of Calcutta. Surendranath Banerjee was eliminated from the Indian civil services in 1874 AD. Punjab Hindu Sabha was established in the year 1909. 1909 याद रख लेना, पंजाब हिंदू सभा. The first Indian to resist for the political reform, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. The Madras Mahajan Sabha was established in the year 1884. Madras Mahajan Sabha 1884. Bombay Presidency Association was established by Firoz Shah Mehta, K.T. Talang and Tayyabji. Bombay Presidency Association was established by the Firoz Shah Mehta, K.T. Talang and Tayyabji. V.D. Savarkar became the president of Hindu Mahasabha in 1937. The founder of the Indian National Congress was A.O.U. The founder of the Indian National Congress was a civil servant. The Indian National Congress was set up in 1885. How many representatives took part in the first session of the Indian National Congress? 72. The first Congress of Indian National Congress was held in Mumbai. The following was not an objective of Indian National Congress as pointed out by the W.C. Banerjee to express the viewpoint on the necessary social issues and due to the concert of the educated class. The second session of the Indian National Congress was presided over by Dadabhai Naoroji. How many Muslim delegates participated in the second convention of the Indian National Congress? 33. Who was the second Muslim president in the Indian National Congress? Rahmatullah M. Sayani. Who was the second Muslim president in the Indian National Congress? Rahmatullah M. Sayani. The first woman president of Indian National Congress? Annie Besant. Who was the first Indian woman president of Indian National Congress? Sarojini Naidu. At which place was the 27th session of the Indian National Congress was held? In Bankipur. Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. This statement is concerned with Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who said the Congress movement was neither inspirational by the people nor devised or planned by them. Lala Lajpat Rai. Who was the president of Gaya session of the Indian National Congress in 1922? Chittaranjan Das. Who was the president of Indian National Congress organized in 1922? Chittaranjan Das. Mahatma Gandhi presided over this session of the 1924 इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस बालगम में 1924 में हुआ था. ठीक है. हु वाज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस एट द टाइम ऑफ पार्टीशन ऑफ इंडिया? जे बी कृपलानी. द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज फाउंडेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द सेफ्टी वॉल थ्योरी टू प्रोटेक्ट द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट फ्रॉम हिज थ्रेट. दिस वाज सेड बाय लाला लाजपत राय. मॉडरेट्स एंड एक्सट्रीमिस्ट इन अ कांग्रेस. द प्रोटेस्ट मेथड ऑफ द मॉडरेट लीडर ऑफ द कांग्रेस was constitutional agitation. Most of the moderate leaders hailed from urban areas. The following was not an extremist. J.K. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Indian national movement came to be dominated by the extremists after 1906. He belonged to the extremist wing of the Congress. Arvindo Ghosh. Among the Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Dadabhai Naoroji, M.G. Ranade, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he was not known as the moderate in the National Congress. तो बाल गंगाधर तिलक, who is properly known as शेर पंजाब, लाला लाजपत राय. In 1908, बाल गंगाधर तिलक were imprisoned for 6 years. Revolutionary movement in India. Who is associated with the Abhinav Bharat? V.D. Savarkar. Who founded Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in London? V.D. Savarkar. who established a branch of Anushilin Samiti at the Patna in 1913, Sachin Nath Sanyal. The Anushilin Samiti was a revolutionary organization. When did the attempt of murder of Kingsford was made at the Muzaffarpur 1908, in which place the Khudiram Bose tried to kill Kingsford, Muzaffarpur? Uh, which year Hindustan Republic Association set up? 1924. Who penned the following lines? सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देख रहे हैं जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. बिस्मिल अजम Ajimabadi, Bismil Ajimabadi. The revolutionaries were hanged in the Kakori train robbery case. Ram Prasad Bismil and Ashfaqullah. Ram Prasad Bismil and Ashfaqullah. One of the founder leader of the Hindustan Socialist Republic Army was Bhagat Singh, who gave the Inqilab Zindabad slogan. Bhagat Singh. How old was Bhagat Singh when the threw a bomb in the assembly in the protest against the government? A little more than 21 years. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were executed on 23 March 1931. Who is related to Chittagaon Army raid? Surya Sen. Who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance? Arvindo Ghosh. Who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance? Arvindo Ghosh. During the freedom struggle, a parallel movement launched in Indian states, in the states ruled by the Indian rulers such as Kashmir. इट इज़ प्रजामंडल मूवमेंट. ये हमने थोड़ी देर पहले पढ़ा था. अच्छा सॉरी, वो तो हमने किसी और चीज़ में पढ़ा था. रिवॉल्यूशनरी एक्टिविटीज़ outside India. Who was the founder of the India House in the London? Syamji Krishna Verma. Ghadar Party was established in the year 1930. Where was the Ghadar Party established? United States of America. What was the cause of outbreak of Ghadar Revolution? What was the cause of outbreak of Ghadar Revolution? Beginning of First World War. Interim government under the leadership of Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh was founded in Kabul with the support of Germany during the World War I. Who is regarded as the mother of Indian Revolution? Madam Bhekha Ji Rustam Kama. Where did Madam Bhekha Kama hosted the first tricolor flag? In 1907, Stuttgart. Where did Madam unfurled the tricolor flag of freedom? Stuttgart. Sardar Udham Singh killed Michael O'Dwyer. He was given a life imprisonment for the murder of Colonel Valley मदन लाल डिंगरा. कर्नल वैली को मारने के चक्कर में मदन लाल सिंह डिंगरा को लाइफ पनिशमेंट हुआ था. He founded the Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in London. V.D. Savarkar. Partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement. This movement started after the partition of Bengal. Swadeshi movement. The declaration of partition of Bengal was done on July 1905. Golden League was established in the support of the boycott and Swadeshi movement at the place called Devghar. Named the Viceroy of India concerned with the Bengal partition. Lord Curzon. Who has said about the Bengal partition? The partition announced fell like a bombshell. Surendranath Banerjee. This movement was started as a reaction to the partition of Bengal. Swadeshi movement. This movement was started as a reaction to the partition of Bengal. Swadeshi movement. Bengal was partitioned in 1905, but due to the opposition, it was again divided in 1901. In which year the partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon and cancelled? 1911. The following class were mainly unaffected of the Swadeshi movement in 1905: farmers and Muslims. The Swadeshi movement took place in India during the anti-Bengal partition agitation. The Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as a method of struggle for the first time during the partition of Bengal. Congress, Benaras, Culcutta and Surat session. The following leader presided over the Congress session at Calcutta in 1906. Dadabhai Naoroji. Congress passed the Swaraj resolution in the year 1906. The purpose of the resolution was to serve self-rule. The process of a split of the Congress in the early years of the 20th century began over strategies of Congress movement, objectives of the Congress, partitions of the people in a Congress movement. At the Calcutta session of Indian National Congress in 1906, the flag of Swaraj for India was unfurled by Dadabhai Naoroji. He happily interrupted the split in the Congress at the Surat in 1907. A great victory for us, Lord Minto ने बोला था पनौती साला. Formation of Muslim League 1906. Among Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Sir Muhammad Iqbal, Aga Khan and Nawab Salimullah Khan, the founder of All India Muslim League, was Nawab Salimullah Khan. The Muslim League started its annual convention on a regular basis from 1916, 1919, 1924, 1925. In some में से कोई भी नहीं. The Muslim deputation met Minto in 1906 at the Shimla at the pleaded for the separate electorate for the Muslims. भाई मैं तुमको पहले ही बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं सिर्फ पढ़ रहा हूँ और मैं स्पीड में ही पढ़ूंगा क्योंकि तुम सब पढ़ चुके हो. सब यहाँ बस रिवीजन ही हो पाएगा. पढ़ना तुम्हें खुद है बाबू. मैं यहाँ क्लासेस नहीं ले रहा हूँ. यहाँ पर जो मेरे पास बुक पड़ी हुई है वो बुक मैं बस रीड कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है. The Muslim, if contented and satisfied, would become the greatest bulwark of British power in India. Who wrote it? W. Hunter. Rajendra Prasad considered him as the father of the Pakistan. Lord Minto. Bihar became a separate state during the British rule in year 1912. Home Rule League movement. In 1950-1966, the Home Rule movement was started, launched under the leadership of Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. It did not contribute to Home Rule League. T.S. Elcourt. In which conference could the Home Rule supporters demonstrate their political power successfully? Lucknow Conference of 1916. Home Rule movement was a symbol of starting a new phase of freedom movement in India because it put a perfect project for the self-government before the nation. Gandhi and his early movement. In which college Gandhiji had studied? Salam Das Art College, Bhavnagar. Mahatma Gandhi was called to the South Africa in the 1893 for the solution of legal problem of Dada Abdullah of Gujarat. Gandhiji first Satyagraha movement in India, which is used in civil disobedience, was Champaran. The first Satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi in India was Champaran, who was the secretary of Mahatma Gandhi during the Noakhali. Pyare Lal. Following the statements regarding the Indian freedom struggle, which is not correct. Mahatma Gandhi was arrested in 1921. ये incorrect है. ठीक है. इन विच स्टेटमेंट मूवमेंट गांधी जी डिड नॉट पार्टिसिपेट डायरेक्टली. वाईकोम सत्याग्रह. द कैपिटलिस्ट सर्व्ड एज द AICC treasurer for the many years and went to jail in 1930. Jamna Lal Bajaj. The capitalist serves as an AICC treasurer for the many years and went to jail in 1930. Jamna Lal Bajaj. Mahatma Gandhi's close English compatriot during the freedom movement was Charles Andrew. Gandhiji undertook his Champaran Satyagraha in the year 1917 AD. Who participated in Satyagraha started by the Gandhiji at Ahmedabad in 1917-18? Industrial worker. Mahatma Gandhi take the first use of hunger strike weapon during the Ahmedabad strike. Who drew Gandhiji attention to the plight of indigo peasant in Champaran? Rajkumar Shukla. In response to the mass agitation of the Champaran movement, the British government took following step to address the issue. Instituted the Champaran Agrarian Committee. At which place of Bihar Gandhiji started Satyagraha movement for the first time in India? Champaran. Champaran Satyagraha was related to Tinkatia system. If to be exempted from the growing indigo, the farmers of India had to pay compensatory tax called Tawan. The Champaran movement was basically against cash crop. The person not connected with the Champaran movement was Jayaprakash Narayan, who is not related to Champaran Satyagraha of the 1917 AD. Ram Manohar Lohia. He invited Gandhiji to come to Champaran. Rajkumar Shukla. In which farmers movement did Mahatma Gandhi participate? First of all, Champaran. At which place in Bihar Gandhiji had its first Satyagraha? Champaran. He saved the life of Gandhiji during Champaran Satyagraha. Batak Mian. Who was the national leader of Champaran Indigo movement? Mahatma Gandhi. Peasant movement and Kisan Sabha. Nai Dhobi Band. Nai Dhobi Band was a form of social boycott in 1919 which was started by the farmers of Pratapgarh district. What was the aim of Ikka movement in our transformation of rent into cash? Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha was formed by the Swami Sahajanand Saraswati. Swami Sahajanand Saraswati published a journal named Hunkar. Swami Sahajanand was related to peasant movement in Bihar, who presided over the first session of All India Kisan Sabha. Swami Sahajanand. Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha was formed in 1929 AD. The first president of All India Kisan Sabha, Lucknow in 1936 was Swami Sahajanand Saraswati. Akhil Bharatiya Kisan Sabha was formed in 1936 AD. The Bakhasht movement in Bihar during the 1937-1938 was organized by Swami Sahajanand Saraswati. Where was the first All India Kisan Mahasabha formed? Lucknow. Swami Sahajanand was related to farmers movement in Bihar. Among Swami Sahajanand, Karyanand Sharma, Rahul Sankaraditya and Yamuddin Sharma, the peoples connected with Bihar Kisan Sabha भाई सारे के सारे ही थे. स्वामी सहजानंद सरस्वती formed the All India United Kisan Sabha with the demand for the nationalization of land and waterway just before his death. Who was associated with the Kisan movement in Bihar? Rajendra Prasad ji. He successfully led the Bardoli Satyagrah. Vallabhbhai Patel. The Tebaga movement was started in 1946 from the Bengal under the leadership of Kisan Sabha, a sannyasi who came to the districts after a spell of an indentured labor in Fiji, carried a copy of Tulsidas Ramayana on his back, from which he would recite verses to rural audience. The peasant leader refers to his Baba Ramchandra. Trade Union and Communist Party. The first president of All India Trade Union Congress by Lala Lajpat Rai. When was All India Trade Union Congress established in Bombay 1920? Who was the first Indian to be member of Communist International? M.N. Roy. The revolutionary phase of the trade union movement in India was 1926 to 1939. The labor union movement was permanently established in India after the World War. Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh and Massacre 1990. When was Rowlatt Act passed? 1919. Indian National Congress opposed the Rowlatt Act because it aimed to limit the individual liberty. The massacre of the crowd at the Jallianwala Bagh at the Amritsar took place on April 13, 1919. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened in the context of which Gandhian Satyagrah Rowlatt Act. The year 1919 in the Indian history is related for the tragedy of Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Why did people gather to demonstrate at the Jallianwala Bagh to protest against the arrest of Kichlu and Satyapal ji? Rabindranath Tagore gave up his knighthood because of the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. He killed Michael O'Dwyer, responsible for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Udham Singh. Sir Michael O'Dwyer was shot dead in the 30th March 1914 in London by the Udham Singh. The Congress took a critical stand over the Montague reforms in 1918, which led to breakup with the old moderate remnants, the Puru Jainka Chintamani, who formed the Indian National Liberal Federation Khilafat movement. Why did Mahatma Gandhi support the Khilafat movement? Gandhi wanted to win the support of the Indian Muslim against the British. He viewed the Khilafat movement as an opportunity for integrating Hindu and Muslim, which will not appear again within coming 100 years. Mahatma Gandhi ji. In which city was the conference of Khilafat Committee 1920 held? The requested Gandhiji to assume the leadership of non-cooperation movement. Allahabad, now Prayagraj. Mopla Revolt in 1921 was offshoot of Khilafat movement. Non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement was started in 1920. Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920. Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement urged people to avoid alcohol. This resulted in a serious loss of revenue for the government. The government of provinces circulated a list of prominent individuals who drank alcohol as a device of pursued people to start drinking again. Named the province Bihar, in which area was Rahul Sankradityan active in the non-cooperation movement of 1920 Chhapra. Rahul Sankradityan active in the non-cooperation 1920 Chhapra. In which state is the Chauri Chora, where in February 1922 AD a police station was set on fire. Uttar Pradesh. Mahatma Gandhi halted the non-cooperation movement due to the Chauri Chora incident, after which incident Mahatma Gandhi had called the non-cooperation movement as his Himalayan blunder satyagraha in the Nadayad after Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The the true sequence of the event concerning the postponement of national cooperation movement are police firing in Chauri Chora police station set to fire by the violent crowd, postponed of movement of Gandhiji and arresting of Gandhiji. ये तो हुआ ही नहीं था, बहुत बाद में हुआ था. Cultivators in Bihar during the non-cooperation movement were led by Swami Vidyanand. The following statements are not correct regarding the non-cooperation movement in the town. कौन सा सही नहीं है? Only the upper caste and the rich took part in the movement. The council election were boycotted even by the Justice Party of Maratha. A pleader of Bihar who left his lucrative practice during the a pleader of Bihar who left his lucrative practice during the non-cooperation movement, Rajendra Prasad ji. During 1923-28, the repetition of revolutionary activities in Indian politics was due to the postponement of non-cooperation movement by the Gandhiji. He left Patna College with just 20 days before remaining his exam during the non-cooperation movement. Jayaprakash Narayan. Formation of Swaraj Party 1923. Swaraj Party was formed after the failure of non-cooperation movement. Who established Swaraj Party in 1923? C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. Swaraj Party was founded by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, who established the Swaraj Dal in Bihar. Bihar में Sri Krishna Singh. The famous slogan Swaraj should be for common people, not for class, was given by C.R. Das. Simon Commission 1927. When did Simon Commission visited India? 1928. The Nehru report was drafted by a committee headed by Motilal Nehru, and the subject was constitutional arrangement in India. Lahore session of a Congress proposal of a complete independence 1929. In which session India National Congress passed the complete independence resolution 1929 AD Lahore. The proposal of Purna Swaraj was passed in the Lahore Congress in year 1929. Which day was declared as the Purna Swaraj Party Purna Swaraj Day by the Indian National Congress? 26/1/1930. Who raised the flag of independence at the Congress in 1929? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Who was the president of Lahore session of the Indian National Congress held in 1929? Jawaharlal Nehru. Civil disobedience movement. Dandi March was undertaken in 1930. In 1930, from where Mahatma Gandhi started the civil disobedience movement Dandi, the following participated in the Salt Satyagraha of Gandhi: Sarojini Naidu, Rajkumar, Amrit Kaur, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. The ultimate goal of Gandhiji's Salt Satyagraha was repeal of Salt Satyagraha, curtailment of the government's power, economic relief to the common people. During the Salt Satyagraha in Bihar, in addition to making the salt, the people chose to oppose the government by opposing the state Chowkidari tax. For how many days did Dandi March last? 24 days. Khudai Khidmatgar were organized in 1929 by Abul Ghaffar Khan. Agitation against Chowkidari tax in Begusarai was part of civil disobedience movement. Who led the Salt Satyagraha in Bhagalpur? Mahadev Lal Saraf. who led the Salt Satyagraha in Bhagalpur, Mahadev Lal Sharaf. After the failure of the civil disobedience movement, Gandhi gave importance to constructive program. Prabhavati Devi was the freedom fighter from Patna. Gandhi-Irvin Pact and Round Table Conference. The famous Gandhi-Irvin Pact took place in 1931 AD. Gandhi-Irvin Pact was signed in 1931. Gandhi-Irvin Pact took place in 1931. He played an important role in the signing of the Gandhiji-Irvin Pact. Tej Bahadur Sapro. The resolution related to the fundamental rights were passed for the first time in the session of the Indian National Congress, Karachi session 1931. Fundamental rights याद रखना. Among the Maulana Muhammad Ali, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the leader who attended the first round table, Maulana Muhammad Ali. फर्स्ट राउंड टेबल कांग्रेस ज्वाइन किया था इन्होंने कॉन्फ्रेंस. महात्मा गांधी रिटर्न टू इंडिया इन दिसंबर 1931 एम्प्टी हैंडेड फ्रॉम लंदन. On which issue did the second round table conference fail? Communal delegation. Who participated in the all three round table conference? Bhimrao Ambedkar. Which round table conference was held in 1932? Third. The Indian National Congress did not take part in the following round table conference first and third में. Communal about Pune Pact and Congress Socialist Party. A separate electoral group was made by the Communal Tribunal of Ramsay MacDonald first time in August 1924. Untouchables. How many seats were given to the depressed classes under the Communal Award and Pune Pact? 71 and 147 respectively. The purpose of Pune Pact was to provide representation of untouchables. The first meeting of the Congress Socialist Party was held in Patna. The first session of Congress Socialist Party was held in year 1934. The Congress Socialist Party was founded in 1934 by the Jayaprakash Narayan Acharya Narendra Dev. Jayaprakash Narayan was associated with the Congress Socialist Party. Bihar Socialist Party was founded by J.P. Narayan, who had formed the Bihar Socialist Party in 1931. Phulan Prasad Verma and Jayaprakash Narayan, who is known as the Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan. Which title was given to Jayaprakash Narayan? Lok Nayak. Jayaprakash Narayan Divas was celebrated on April 1946. Provincial election, Tripura crisis and demand of Pakistan. The provincial government were constituted under the Act of 1935, in which working committee did the Congress adopted the policy of abolishing land ownership. Working Committee 1937. Who was elected the President of Indian National Congress in 1938? Subhash Chandra Bose. The purpose of the Butler Committee 1927 was improvement of relationship between the India provinces and the Crown. Purpose of the Butler Commission 1927 improvement of relationship between the India and the provinces of the Crown. All India State People Conference was set up in All India State People in 1927. Who was the president? Who was the British Prime Minister of Britain during the Second World War? सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के टाइम पे कौन था? विंस्टन चर्चिल. और उससे पहला एक जब स्टार्ट हुआ था ना तो कोई और था. He led the movement for separate state of Pakistan. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Who wrote the pamphlet Now or Never? Rahmat Ali. The resolution demanding the formation of Pakistan was passed by the Muslim League in the year 1940. The Individual Satyagraha 1940 and Cripps Mission 1942. Who was the third Satyagrahi of Individual Satyagraha launched by Mahatma Gandhi? Brahmdatt. Who was the first Satyagrahi of Indian National Individual Satyagraha? Vinoba Bhave. Who started the Individual Satyagraha? Vinoba Bhave. In 1940, Vinoba Bhave started the Individual Satyagraha from Pavaner, Maharashtra. The word Sarvodaya was primarily used by Mahatma Gandhi, who viewed the Cripps proposal as the post-dated check. Mahatma Gandhi. Stephen Cripps reached Delhi in March 1942. On July 1942, at the Working Committee of the Congress, Mahatma Gandhi discussed for the first time his Quit India policy, and the president of this committee was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. The Quit India movement began on 9 August 1942. The slogan "Do or Die" was related with Quit India. Baldev Sahai resigned from the post of Advocate General in 1942. Quit India movement was led by Mahatma Gandhi. She launched the secret radio during the Quit India movement. Usha Mehta All India Azad Dashta at Bakeri Ka Tapu was organized during the Quit India movement by at Bakri Ka Tapu, Jai Prakash Narayan ji, the Prime Minister of England during the Quit India movement. Churchill, which area was affected widest with the communal riots during the Quit India movement, Bihar or United Provinces. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was arrested on the 9th August 1942, was sent to Bankipur jail, where was Shri Yogendra Shukla bought on the 7th December 1942, Patna, who was the wife of Mr. Jagat Narayan Lal, Mrs. Ram Pyari. After passing the resolution of Quit India movement, Gandhiji was arrested in Aga Khan Palace. With the news of Gandhi and other Congress leader arrested in 1942, a riot in Bihar took place, leading to a total breakdown in the rail services. The most affected area was Munger. In which context did Jai Prakash Narayan get the recognition of national leader Quit India movement? The Quit India movement in 1942 widespread significant contribution from the leader of Bihar. This prominent Bihar leader was known as the Bihar Kesari and actively participated in the Quit India movement. Sri Krishna Singh in 1942 AD, on the occasion of the festival, Jai Prakash Narayan escaped from the Hazaribagh jail. Deepavali. During the Quit India movement, who escaped from the Hazaribagh jail? Jai Prakash Narayan. राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ was separated from Quit India movement. ये सही है, R false है. It thought that the freedom of India will be delayed due to, भाई ये गलत है, सेकंड वाला गलत है. सुभाष चंद्र बोस, who formed the forward bloc? सुभाष चंद्र बोस. In which country was the honorific Netaji applied to name the Subhash Chandra Bose? Germany. The forward blocks were founded by Subhash Chandra Bose, the result of whose brain is INA, and who formed it? Mohan Singh. In which year was the Indian National Army founded? 1942. Where was Azad Hind Fauj set up in 1943? Malaya. Who joined Subhash Chandra Bose to found All India Forward Blocks and actively associated with the INA movement? Sheel Bhadra Yaje. Subhash Chandra Bose renamed Nicobar Island as a Swaraj Island, Nicobar Island as a Swaraj, and Andaman as a Shahid. The following advocate has appeared for the INA trials in Delhi 1945-46. Bhula Bhai Desai at the Congress Working Committee meeting at Allahabad in 1947, who was able to secure a majority for his plan of guerrilla war against the Japanese due to the Indian unequivocal stand against the Nazim's regime imperialism. Jawaharlal Nehru. President of Cabinet Mission was Sir Patrick Lawrence. He was not the member of Cabinet Mission. J. Andrew, who was not the member of Cabinet Mission. Wavels, ये सब नहीं थे. Who among the Stafford Cripps, Ramshay MacDonald, A.B. Alexander, Patrick Lawrence was not the member of McDonald's, नहीं था. The Cabinet Mission came to India in February. कैबिनेट मिशन मार्च 1946 में आया था. ही हेडेड द टू बाउंड्री कमीशन ऑफ डेलिनेट फ्रंटियर इंडियन पाकिस्तान 1947. क्या सीरियल ये रेड क्लिफ याद रखना पनौती को सारे को. द कैबिनेट मिशन वाज सेंट टू इंडिया टू वर्क आउट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अरेंजमेंट फॉर द ट्रांसफर ऑफ पावर विच कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट नेगोशिएटेड विद द बोथ क्रिप्स मिशन एंड लॉर्ड वेवल्स. अबुल कलाम आज़ाद, who was given the princely portfolio in the national and provincial government, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Home Department was established under the presidentship of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Portfolio that was held by Dr. Rajendra Prasad in the interim government for the year 1946. Food and Agriculture Finance Ministry किसको मिला था? लियाकत अली खान को. And the Labor Department of the Interior Government Cabinet in 1946, Jagjeevan Ramko, and who he presided over the Delhi session of Indian National Congress 1947, J.B. Kripalani. Last Governor General of independent India was C. Rajgopalachari. The first Indian to hold the office as a Governor General is Rajgopalachari. Indian Independence Bill was passed in the House of the Lords of England in 16 July 1947. The Congress presided at the time of transfer of the power in 1947 to India by the British was J.B. Kripalani. On the February 20, 1947, Prime Minister Attlee announced the British government decision to withdraw from India by June 1948. The Regulating Act was passed in 1773. The following statements about the Lord Mayo is correct. It was the first step to bureaucratize the central and provincial finance. Provincial government was empowered to administer certain services. It attempted to rectify the existing imparity. It focused on the actual needs of the provinces. ठीक है. The act which empowered Lord Cornwallis to overrule the decision of his council was Act 1786. Act which provisions competitive exam system for the civil services was 1853. To control the media in India, Act was passed in 1835, 1867, 1878 and 908. Samvida. The following statements about the Vernacular Press Act are correct. It was enacted by Lord Lytton. It came to known as Gagging Act. The act was repealed by Lord Ripper. The following act introduced separate electoral system in India. The Indian Council Act 1909, who is known as the father of diarchy, Sir Lionel Curtis. The Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. The Montagu-Chelmsford reform formed by the basis of the Government of India Act 1919. The PM of the England when the Montagu-Chelmsford Act was passed, Lloyd George. The post of the Indian High Commission was created by which act? The Government of India Act 1919. The Government of India Act 1935 abolished provincial diarchy, about which act Jawaharlal Nehru had said, "We were provided with a car with all brakes and no engine." Act of 1935, which act is not the landmark in the development of the constitutional during the British rule. The Protection of Civil Rights Act 1935, miscellaneous. Rajani Palame Dutt said they both fought and collaborated with the imperialism. Which political group was here reforming to? The Indian National Congress. The New Lamps for Old was a series of articles that criticized the Congress for the being out of the touch with the proletariats. Who was the author of this article? Arvind Ghosh. So long as this third power, that is England, is here, our communal differences would keep on troubling us. Who said this? Mahatma Gandhi. In a single shelf of a good European library was a worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia, was told by T.B. Macaulay. Correct match is 1905 division of Bengal, 1919 Rowlatt Act Satyagraha. Who is known as Gurudev? Rabindranath Tagore. Who gives the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan? Lal Bahadur Shastri. He became the champion of socialism and wanted to overthrow British rule, princely state and lordism and capitalism in 1933. Jawaharlal Nehru. The Sarabandi campaign of 1922 was led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Which lady contributed the largest in Indian politics after 1947? Aruna Asaf Ali. Correct sequence of event is Surat split, Minto Morley reforms, Home Rule movement, Kheda Satyagraha. It will be our blunder if we leave people of Bihar and their government unsafe before the violence and uncivilized attack of League leaders. In the year 1947, who told this? Sardar Patel. Famous Bharat Mata was painted by Rabindranath Tagore. Famous Mata. Among Indigo Revolt, Home Rule League, Bengal Partition, and Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, the first to took place in Indigo movement. BHU was established in 1916. French Revolution slogan library, equality and inspiration, whole world fraternity. मतलब फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन स्लोगन लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी एंड फर्टिनिटी. Amba Bhai, a woman freedom fighter, belongs to the Karnataka, who raised the demand of complete independence for the first time in 1921. Maulana Hasrat Mohini. The Benaras session of August 1923 of Hindu Mahasabha was presided over by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. He is considered as the creator of modern Bihar. Sachindranath Sinha. I identify the year. Those are the closest to the founding of the Communist Party of India and the RSS. 1925. Chronology. The first one among the events of the Cripps Mission came to India. Home Rule League, Khilafat Movement, Gandhi Irwin Pact, Home Rule League. The real name of Frontier Gandhi, Abul Ghaffar Khan, who is known as the Frontier Gandhi, Abul Ghaffar Khan. Khudai Khidmat Kar, established by Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Red shirt. By what name was the beggar or illegal cess demanded from the farmers of land of Vithi? Rajendra Prasad belongs to Bihar. 1912 AD session of Indian National Congress was held in Bihar at Patna. Jagat Narayan Lal was sent to Hazaribagh jail. Who was the common relationship between the Catherine Mayo, Aldous Alexis, Charles Henry, and the William Digby? They wrote commentaries on the condition of India during the British rule. To establish global peace and cooperation among the people, which concept was introduced by the Jawaharlal Nehru, non-alignment. The following was not a dominant caste in Bihar during the pre-independent period. Kurmi. Name the Deoband scholar who played a significant role in freedom movement. Abul Kalam Azad. Name the Deoband scholar who played a significant role in the freedom movement. Abul Kalam Azad. Deoband scholar. The following pair is correct. Here the Deshbandhu. When was the Punjab Land Alienation Act passed? 1900. So always with the assent and often to the decades of the Chamber of Commerce, the government of India is carried on, and this is the white man's burden. Who said this? Sachindranath Sinha. Correct match is Bardoli, Gujarat, Chori Chora, Uttar Pradesh, Yarawarda, Maharashtra, Nahorkheli, Bangladesh. Religious organization established by the Mother Teresa is called Missionaries of Charity. The following chronological order of the battle is correct. Panipat, Haldighati, Palasi and Buxar. Literature, art and culture and about which book was written by Tilak? Gita Rahasya, the author of the Indian Untrustworthy Verity and Chirol, who was written the book Unhappy India, Lala Lajpat Rai. History of the Freedom, Tarachand. History of Freedom Movement in India, Tarachand. History of Freedom Movement in Bihar, K. Dutt. Anandwan, Bankim Chand Chatterjee. Percept of Jesus, Raja Ram Mohan Rai. The Indian Mussalman, W. Hunter. Who wrote the book Poverty and British Rule in India, Dadabhai Naoroji. Who wrote the book India for Indians, C.R. Das. The following general was bought out by the Abul Kalam Azad, Al Hilal. The novel Durgeshra Nandini is written by Bankim Chand Chatterjee. The author of the Rajanti Ratnakara, Chandeshwara. Who wrote the Jhantha Geet, Syam Lal Prasad, who is the author of the book A Gallery of Rascals, Ruskin Bond. The book 1984 is written by George Orwell. Who wrote the book Desher Katha, Sakharam Ganesh Dushkar. Player Bengal player Neil Darpan was translated into English by Michael Madhusudan Dutt. आंध्र प्रदेश का डांस है बुरहा, आसाम का है बिहू, हिमाचल प्रदेश का नट्टी, राजस्थान का घूमर. द फॉलोइंग पेयर इज रॉन्ग. एम एस सुब्बा लक्ष्मी फ्लूट. The award is given to excellence in sports. Arjuna Award. The following foreigner citizen has been awarded Bharat Ratna. Nelson Mandela. Among the Kushwant Singh, Arun Shuri, Brahmavir Bharati, Kamleshwar. This journalist and receptionist of Legacy Award. Arun Shuri, the author of the Mahatma Gandhi and Bihar, some reminiscence of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. अब भाई पॉलिटी का मतलब कि मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री ख़त्म कर दी है. चलो ओके, बाय बाय, टाटा.